The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23 is arguably the most beloved of the Psalms, resonating across cultures and centuries as a profound testament to faith, comfort, and security. It distills the complex relationship between the divine and humanity into a simple, powerful metaphor. The Lord is a shepherd, and the believer is a sheep in his flock. The opening verses establish a foundational promise, absolute provision and tranquil care. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. The imagery here is one of perfect fulfillment. A sheep shall not want, because the shepherd anticipates every need: food, green pastures, and refreshment. These are not just physical necessities, they speak to the deep spiritual and emotional need for rest and peace. To be made to lie down suggests a deliberate act of ensuring repose, a release from the anxieties of the world. It is an invitation to trust fully in the source of all good things, restoration and guidance. The psalm then shifts to the internal and active work of the shepherd in the soul of the believer. The shepherd is a healer. He restoreth my soul, speaks to revival, renewal, and spiritual repair when we are weary, broken, or lost. The shepherd brings us back to health. This restoration is coupled with perfect guidance. The paths of righteousness are not just moral obligations, they are the right paths, the safe routes that led to well-being and honor the shepherd's character for his name's sake. This implies that the security of the sheep is tied directly to the shepherd's reputation for faithfulness, courage in darkness, the confident presence. The heart of the psalm addresses life's inevitable trials, transforming fear into confidence. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The valley of the shadow of death represents the darkest, most terrifying moments, not just literal death, but deep suffering, depression, or crisis. The remarkable statement is not that the sheep avoids the valley, but that it walks through it. Fear is vanquished by the certainty of presence, for thou art with me. The shepherd's tools, the rod for protection and defense, and the staff for guiding and pulling the sheep from danger, become symbols of active, tangible comfort. They are not instruments of punishment, but of secure, loving control. Abundance and adversity, the overflowing blessing. The metaphor shifts briefly from the open fields to a royal feast, illustrating victory and honor. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. This section speaks to God's generous, overflowing favor, which is so powerful it transcends circumstances. The table prepared is not a hastily arranged meal, but a feast symbolizing honor and peace. Crucially, this provision happens in the presence of mine enemies. The opposition is neutralized not by force, but by the sheer, undeniable blessing of the host. The anointing with oil was a sign of welcome, honor, and healing, while a cup runneth over signifies surplus, joy, and exceeding grace. The psalm concludes with a timeless certainty that anchors the believer's future. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is a promise of persistent pursuit. Goodness and mercy are personified as two faithful attendants who will follow or pursue the believer without fail. This constant dual blessing seals the earthly experience. Finally, the focus moves beyond this life to the eternal assurance of belonging, to dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It is the ultimate expression of security, a permanent, intimate home with the shepherd where the journey ends and rest is complete. Psalm 23 is thus a complete portrait of the life of faith, from present provision to spiritual renewal, through inevitable crisis to abundant blessing, and culminating